Hello and welcome back to this channel. Hope you're well, hope you're blessed, and I'm just here to share with you some things about this lovely product. So I literally just came back from a walk and this kind of caught my eye, so I was like, okay, let me get this, because for some reason it just looks so familiar. I've never had it before, and as you can see, it's like not open, so I literally just got it now. And it's called St John Wart. And I thought to myself, what is this herb used for? And I asked the lady and she said, usually people use it as a mild treatment for depression. So I thought, okay, let me Google to see what other things this herb is good for, because I'm really seeing as well in a time like this, to be educated about herbs we can take. Of course, it's all about not just what we eat, but our mental health, what we think about, what we reflect upon, and what we give our time to. So not only, what we take inside, you can be taking all the herbs you want, but if you're watching things that are causing you anxiety, if you're, locking yourself and, filled with negativity, then that also may affect your health. So we should also think in mind that also, even though we're thinking about how this herb can help, health is whole, it's physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's also, what you eat. So health is not just what we eat, but it's abroad. So I just thought to share that before sharing. So I'm just going to be looking down as well, because I've literally just been researching about this herb, because I wanted to research it before taking it and see what it's good for, and also precautions, because I know I'm going to list out the cautions at the end just to make sure, because I haven't partaked or ate or drank this herb before. So this herb, St John Wart, has 4 properties, and one is an astringent. So that basically means it helps with the irritation of the skin, and I'm probably going to say this again. So things like boils, this herb is been shown to actually help with things like that. Another thing, it's an alterative. So that basically means it helps detoxify the blood. So it cleanses the blood, and it takes away bad blood, if I can say that. Of course, it's not like a transfusion, but it's like more of a purifier. Another one, it's a Nervine, which basically means it calms the nerves, and this is why I think it's usually used with people who have anxiety or depression. But as we're going to see later on, or mention, that it shouldn't be taken with antidepressants, but I'm also going to mention that later on. And another one is a sedative, which basically means that it helps reduce excitement, or when you're irritated, so that's why I think that property of St John Wart helps with the anxiety. So those are the 4 properties. It is sedative, Nervine, alterative, and astringent. Hope I'm saying these 4 properties right. So this St John Wart affects different parts of the body. So it affects the stomach, the bladder, the blood, the liver, and the nerves. So this herb, does have its properties. And I'm not going to really talk about, how to actually prepare, because I'm just going to have this tea as well in it. But if anyone's interested of how they can make it into a tincture or something else like that, just let me know, because I've just been reading about it in the last 5 minutes or so, and I've just got so much information on it. And it's just amazing that we can get our books, we can read, because I have a nice book that literally shows the benefits of this and how you can prepare it. So I just want to share with you things, I did mention it does help with things like mild depression, but I also want to read other things where this herb is usually used for. So this is usually used, as I said before, it purifies the blood. So this herb can be used helpfully for diarrhea, jaundice, boils, suppressed urine, and also a word which I'm gonna hopefully say right. It says dysentery, and I will put the thing there. And also it's used well as a urethane after birth pain. So it has multiple uses. And another use, I believe, it's bed wetting and other stuff. So just going to read here. So it said it's helpful for bed wetting, hysteria, cough, and irregular menstrual cycle. So if your cycle is not regular, you know, this is very helpful. Also for uterine disorders, muscle pain, bruises, tenderness and pain in the spine. And it's also a good expectorant for bronchial things and also lung problems. And it should also be taken, they said, you know, close to meals. And the last thing, I think it's very useful because we are living in a time where there's lots of illnesses, and you know, as I look into these things, it tightens up the lung, but this one is quite helpful for issues regarding the lungs, and also, you know, our lungs are affected to our breathing, and so yeah, that's very helpful. But also externally, as I mentioned before, it's helpful for like boils and things. So it can be applied to bruises, wounds, or other skin problems. So this is a multi-purpose herb, and what I like about herbs is like it's not just, you know, one thing, you know, for sleep or for this, but you can use it internally and externally. So it's good to as well be educated on them, because, you know, some herbs may be quite dangerous to take internally. So that's why I make sure what is this noise, please? So that is why I make sure I research before taking, but of course, because it was in a shop, it's probably safe to drink. But here as well, the oil of this can also be used for hard tumours, ulcers, burns, and also swollen breasts. So these are the purposes of St John Wart. Let me know if you've tried it. And this is the warning and the caution that I mentioned already. If you're taking antidepressants, you know, you shouldn't be having St John's Wort at the same time, because, you know, as this this is proven to, like, you know, help with the nerve system, you know, help with the nerves. So that would help you with anxiety and depression. So if you're taking both at the same time, it's definitely might be quite dangerous. So that is a caution to you. If you're taking antidepressants, make sure you don't take this at the same time. And that's another thing I like to research as well, about things like what things counteract. Like I know with, if you're taking high blood pressure medication, grapefruit is a big no-no, because it's like nature has its own way of helping the body. So if you're taking those two things, like a double dose, and that can have like side effects. Another warning is that this herb is usually seen to be quite light sensitive. So if you've applied it to your skin, do not go in direct sunlight. So wait a bit, you know, apply it, wait for a bit, and there is a bee and wasp outside. But yeah, so those are the two cautions as well. And also if you're pregnant, as usual with anything, make sure you check before you have, because, you know, different herbs may have different effect on the pregnant people as well. So pregnant women, so make sure you check and also do your research before consuming, because, you know, this is my independent research. I'm trialing on myself with this. So yeah, so see you later, and hope you enjoyed this short video about learning about St John's Wort. So this is the one I had, and I'm very excited to try it, because especially like this, you know, being stuck at home, even though we are allowed one form of exercise, it can drive people crazy. So make sure, you know, you're doing everything you can to stay well and stay healthy, you know, physically, getting your exercise, having fresh air, going outside in the sun, having water, having rest, you know, weekly and also daily, having your adequate sleep, and also, you know, having good diet, good nutrition, leafy greens, fruits and vegetables, nuts, grains and seeds, and also, you know, trusting in divine power. So see you later, stay well, and remember that herbs are for the healing of the nation. This is something we're seeing where we help others help themselves.